The Loop by Michelle Stork. We slid to the floor in what must have looked like an abstract painting. We were together, wrapped in our grief. Our hearts are broken. Between waves of anguish, we sought solace in being one. Our moves were in tandem. We were calling the airlines, refilling prescriptions, calling employers, unpacking the suitcase. We stood hand in hand to tell Brad, my twin brother, that Rick had passed. We've been down the road of adversity many times, yet this particular path of death was one of the unknown ones. The path of reckoning lay ahead of us. For me, it is laying my past to rest. For Dave, unbeknownst to him, would be the reckoning of who he really married. The journey of two thoughts with one destination in mind. Worry and wonder will meet. How will they fare? Collision, cohesion. As we drive in silence, the world is just a shimmering blur. The distortion is comforting, pretending fascination with the reflection of the world through tears. Traveling through the airport is much of a blur, looking for the closest TSA gate. Putting one foot in front of the other was all that mattered. Movement. Just keep moving. Remove your glasses, demanded the agent, scanning our faces compared to the horrid driver's license photos. We already know we look like hell, causing the tears to flow all over again. Free to go, murmurs a voice void of emotion. Why the hell does that stay stuck on repeat in my mind? A tight squeeze to my hand brought me back to knowing that I am not alone. The pure warmth permeating off his hand seemed to infuse to my soul. The bond we share is so strong and silent. At times I find myself in awe. No words were spoken, just reassurance at the perfect time. Some will ask whose comfort. To answer them honestly, well, it doesn't matter. It's a circle of give and take, and it's given so freely it doesn't feel like it's specifically either one of us. We didn't need to say the words out loud. We have never discussed the intimate details of my life in Fawcett. The highlights, of course, we shared those. But as we near the exit, I could see the wonder in his eyes. The dawning of we weren't well off. Growing up was starting to surface in his mind. I'd been home before for family reunions years ago, and I knew then that the town had fallen apart. Not that it had much appeal when I was growing up. As time passed, I knew that I had been grateful he couldn't get time off from work to go back there. I wasn't ready to see the look of surprise on his face. Now, if he was to understand completely, it was time for him to see Fawcett. Ready or not, my time was up. Taking the exit from the freeway, I decided to stall just a tad bit longer. He was so handsome in the passenger seat, eyes roaming like he was taking in a foreign land. I asked, "You hungry? I would love to sit down with a cup of coffee and make a plan." "Starving." "Hey, think I could try some of that sweet tea you've always talked about?" Of course. That is one of the few things I knew would never change there. The easy flow of the streets I haven't driven in 10 years came back to me. Just like riding a bike. Maybe it was instinct. 2 blocks and on the right still stood the local truck stop. With his eyebrows arched into a question, I answered him before he could ask. It was a simple answer. I turned off the car and opened my door. It's not like there are many other options. You take what you can get and where you can get it. Besides, truck stops tend to have fresh coffee any time of the day, whereas mom and pop stores don't. The stores, if they're still there, won't even have coffee past 8 a.m. If you need coffee at 8 in the morning, you already started your day late, and you should have known better than to even ask. Dave looked at me and said, "How'd you do that so fast?" "Do what?" "The accent. The minute you ordered it was there. Like you flipped a switch and bam, slow southern drawl." I just laughed. I don't know. Didn't even know I'd spoken any different. Sipping on coffee, gaining courage. "Dave, we gotta talk." Bridget spoke softly. What is it? You feel okay? Interwoven worry lines appeared. Not looking up from the cup, I just added 2 creamers. Those tiny, perfect doses. For whatever reason, these aggravate the hell out of me right now. Bridget, answer me, he said in an even but demanding voice. I know you talked to Dr. Thomas before we left, and I'm going to be okay. It's you that I worry about. Come on. Now what's there to worry about? Running my fingertips around the rim of the cup. You're going to see things that are going to change the way you see me. The one thing that I will not tolerate is pity. Pity? Why would you think that? We can talk about that later. Please remember what I said. Drink up. I knocked back the rest of my coffee. One more thing. This is going to be more of a tour guided trip. So just sit back, take it all in. Alright, with his left eyebrow arched as he always done when he was skeptical. I knew this place. I hated everything about it, except for the procession to the cemetery. The only time this damn town stopped to honor someone. We held our heads high, even as the tears flowed freely. We no longer belonged. It was us standing among strangers, 50 pair of eyes looking us up and down. We held the stairs. What were they looking for? A name tag, perhaps? Did they think we were weirdos crashing a funeral? We did not care. Respect is to be given regardless if we were welcome. The casket held my longest, dearest friend. The John Wayne flag, draped over the lower half, was given to Rick by my grandfather. My grandfather was Rick's hero. The stranger staring at us had no idea why the flag was essential. They only know they love that flag. The slideshow pictures begged to be watched in silence. Family memories on display to strangers who only knew names, not a connection like ours. I remember when the pictures were taken. I loved every one. Most of these pictures were of families intertwined. Rick's parents, my grandparents leaned on my grandpa's truck at the river. Rick's older brother, and my mom, fishing. Rick and his first motorcycle. That was the same day that I and Rick got in trouble with his mom for not giving me a ride. She was hot. That lady never got mad. She was that day. She told Rick that it wouldn't hurt one bit to give us little ones a ride. Hey, there's all of us at a fish fry. I'm drowning in memories. Mid-afternoon, we at the cemetery lay Rick to rest. Walnut trees whisper as we drive the single lane of worn earth. In every direction were cold marble headstones. The eerie pinprick of hairs on the back of your neck told you the ghost arose to welcome home the last member. Piercing my heart, the desertion of the upkeep, realizing there was no one left who wanted to keep them unspoiled, caused the cracking of the thin grasp of rationale. The dust storm was born amidst the strangers. Feeling extra dry sobbing, transformed to a clean cloth. An acre of headstone cries for tribute. Broken fingernails land amidst the grass as I ripped it from the earth. How dare the earth try to smother my family, trying to erase their mark on the world? He knows my mind flips out on small triggers. This is a huge trigger. Knowing full well I've not hit the most challenging part of the visit to Fawcett. We never discuss how the kids laugh, saying Mom makes everyone's plate entirely the same, or the fact we're only the last of anything. As we made the turn on 10th Street, he was about to find out. Passing the giant oak tree, I point out where I got poison oak when I tried to run away from home. I made it 4 houses from ours. I had no idea my mom could see me the entire time. We come to a stop, and there stood a broken down house. It really wasn't a house. It was a little more than a box with 5 rooms, and one was the bathroom. Worst winter of my life was spent here, telling. What happened? Yeah, squeezing my hand. Mom was working 3 part-time jobs to make ends meet. Still wasn't enough. Water and the power company played cat and mouse game with my mom. They would turn us off, she'd wait, march out there, and turn us right back on. One day it started to snow, and it just kept dumping, like feet and not inches. Stay warm, she hung a sheet over the doorway to the kitchen. Drug a fan out of the bedroom, placed it on the oven door, circulating heat to keep us warm. The next day she cooked what little food we had, dividing it equal among us, till we came down to a single potato. Literally, she baked it, again dividing it between us. I heard part of her talk with God that night. Dear Lord, we're either going to die together or make it together. It's all up to you. I still don't exactly remember how she got us out of that mess, but I do know that's when it all clicked for me. The standard rule of South End was don't bring it if you don't have enough for everybody. That's why I still make plates for grown-ass adults. It's to make sure there's no favorites. You may not get enough, but you aren't left out. Bridget, I'm sorry, Dave said, staring at the tiny house. Before you rent me a new one, for pity, it's not. Remember the fight we had about what counts as living in poverty? I told you could not have understood what that meant. Well, you have every right to be mad at me for snickering at you. I thought you were overly dramatic. I heard you, but until now, I just didn't get it. I listened to the words, but seeing it's different.